Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining Red Hat Streaming this morning. We are live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. I am joined this morning by my teammate and fellow Red Hatter, Langdon White, who had a very interesting idea for a stream this morning, and he actually had to kind of explain it to me. And I want him to explain the concept of what he was doing, and then how we're going to try and then digest it as a stream right now. So please introduce yourself, Langdon, and tell us about the journey we're about to go on.
All right, so I'm Langdon White, and I actually have a very strong background in kind of the Linux operating system itself, and less so in kind of OpenShift land. So I've been using containers, for a long time now, and very early on using containers, I started to notice that orchestration was a problem. Because as soon as you start having, kind of two containers, you need them to be able to talk to each other, and Docker link was not pretty. So I got into Docker Compose for a while, and then kind of moved on to like things like Cube and OpenShift. But today we're mostly focused on that problem of a hackathon. So these are my notes. So, apologies for the quality. But so I'm involved. I teach a class at Boston University, so I tend to get kind of involved in things they do. But in general, I get involved in hackathons periodically, but more as like a judge than as like a contributor. So this was a hackathon that Boston University put on basically during quarantine, coronavirus, kind of period of time, even though we're definitely still in it. And they called it the Resiliency Challenge, and they focused on basically things that were trying to help with resiliency. So like either virtual learning or with tracking COVID-19 or blah, 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 right? The thing that was a little weird about this one is that they actually did these like 3-week sprints. And so they did like 3 hackathons kind of, but they were 3 weeks each, which is kind of a really long time for a hackathon.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, interesting. Okay.
But so here's kind of the challenge, it's got all the details about it. But so I was one of the judges, and what I thought was interesting, and I caught myself doing because I was doing this, kind of on weekends, is that in order to judge the hackathon, I needed to be able to like run the code periodically for whatever it was that they built. And what I didn't want to do was install every random, framework and library and language and everything on my laptop just to find out whether or not this thing ran at all. Plus the fact that God only knows what the code looked like. Excuse me. So
what do you mean? You didn't want to stand up all these random programming languages on your one device that you use every day?
Right.
Yeah. No.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I found myself doing, and I'd done this in the past, but that's what made me think of it for the Twitch stream, was how do you take a random piece of code and kind of figure out how to make it run in a container so that you can install that junk in a container but not have to worry about janking it up. On occasion, I've found that the hackathon participant themselves actually made a container. Excuse me, but I don't think I found that for this particular one at all, and certainly
Really?
not the ones for this particular thing.
So none of the teams said, okay, let's just throw together a Docker file real quick.
Yeah, no, which I found interesting.
Whoa. Okay.
And you got to also remember a little bit like, expected age group, or expected experience level. It's not, obviously always true, but it's usually late high school, college students, rather than like professionals who are doing these things. And so maybe that explains it. Maybe maybe our education system isn't exactly talking about containers.
Yeah, no kidding. Bleeding edge technology or education system. What?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
and also, I mean, this is a little bit of the problem with colleges in general, sort of, right? I mean, they prepare you to be an academic. They don't prepare you to be a professional most of the time.
Right.
And, computer science, I find it very, very interesting. But I actually don't use a whole lot of computer science in my day-to-day software development job, right? It's kind of interesting.
Surprisingly,
right,
I bet you use a lot of copy pasta.
Exactly. Stack Overflow, baby. Okay, so the way these guys ran this challenge was using this company called DevPost. They run a ton of hackathons. You can go, if you want to participate in one, you can go and do that here. I don't know if they actually do like call for judges or any of that stuff, but they definitely have lots of hackathons. So obviously this one is over, but the code's still live. So that's why I thought it would be useful.
Cool.
So what I thought we would do is kind of take some of the projects. I think I had to judge most of these, so they're actual like examples, and I did more or less on some of them to make them work, and we may find that they just don't work at all, which is obviously part of the judging criteria. So should we go ahead and get started? Do you have any other questions?
So the idea here is we're going to take these apps, we're going to try and containerize them, and maybe they'll work, maybe they won't, maybe we'll find some dependency problems, or we're just on this journey of containerizing apps from a hackathon right now,
right?
Because
exactly.
None of these, in this case, had any kind of containerization as a forethought.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So that's fair. Yeah. All right, man. Let's dive in. You tell me where we're going first.
All right. So the first one we have is this project called We Care, and I'm going to kind of flash up the like the pitch. So each of them, this one was, I would say, much more accessible as a judge than some of the hackathons I've done. I mean, normally a hackathon is like a weekend, right? So they don't have a lot of time to prepare.
Right.
With the length of these, they had a lot more kind of time to respond and all that jazz. So most of them put up a video of like what it is, what they're trying to do. And then there's like usually a story about the background and then what the thing that they built does. And then it has this odd block of what we did during the weekend, even though it's 3 weeks long.
Even if it's 3 weeks. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
And then you're also supposed to highlight some of the problems you ran into. I find what's interesting about this is it's actually kind of in some ways what I think of why we started the Twitch stream, is to show people the challenges you run into and like how to get out of them. But like most things like this, most of the challenges we ran into are kind of lame. They're like, well, I'm a perfectionist, and so as a result, sometimes I run into it's like that typical interview question of, what's your worst quality? Well, I do everything too well. So I found those a little bit not, it'd be really cool if they were, if the confidence level was higher in the people writing them. I'm not saying this particular one I'm not reading it. I just that was one of the things I kind of noticed when I was going through them across the board. And then kind of they have a pitch for what they need sometimes, and you'll see this one's well filled out, and some of them aren't. And then so finally we get to kind of the important part to us right now, which is like, okay, where is the thing? So here is a standing version of it. Sometimes, so what I wanted, so the judging has a rubric, right? And one of the things is like, does it work at all, right? So we've got that covered. But another one is like, how easy is it for somebody else to stand up, right? How deployable?
Makes total sense.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's why I go usually and take a look at the GitHub repo, and then I try to stand the thing up. Well, maybe we shouldn't have started this one. This one's pretty complicated. I did fool around with this one.
You said you did or did not?
I did.
Okay.
So let me see.
So clearly a Node app, right? From another
yeah. So I'm trying to remember how it works.
React,
so the thing I noticed about this one is it seems to actually be a fork of another project, and so it's a little confusing. Because
that's a Firebase project, so
yeah,
I know that very well.
Firebase. So we don't really want to play with that too much. I thought there was a way. Maybe we should do a different one. I should have started maybe in a different order. But let's see.
To tell you how much prep we do for these streams, we do this live.
I made a whole list. I just didn't really think about what the order of the list was. Okay, so
there's a lot of prerequisites here. So you got to have access to the reCAPTCHA API, which means you need an API key. You got to have a domain, obviously, a server to host it on. Okay, well, we've got
the servers are easy.
Yeah. So what about the back end thing from Firebase? Like that, this might be a little too much for us to tackle
Right. So maybe we'll start with
in the
this one.
whole stream. So
Yeah, exactly.
let's not start here. If we get
So
to
let's look
this,
at
I
this
think
one.
it'd be a good one.
All right. So we have these guys. Let's see. Okay, so this was an ML model. This one is also a little janky, but we can look at this too.
Okay.
Because so what this participant was trying to do was build an ML model that would take an X-ray image of somebody with COVID and then identify an X-ray image and then identify whether they had COVID or not using ML.
Like a chest X-ray or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And they didn't get all that far. So they kind of have an X-ray and
I
an ML
noticed
model.
the first bullet problems I faced when developing this. We simply don't have enough reliable data to train a COVID-19 detector.
Yes, exactly. And I was kind of like,
that's
a gate.
That right there. That's kind of a big deal. But I mean, we probably could, we can get that data. It's good that this app is here. We could.
Right.
We have more data than we did when this app was built. That's for sure. It's not public because privacy laws, right? Like you have to anonymize X-rays and stuff like this, and then put them into a database, and that's kind of a process. And
right. But it's got a pretty good pipeline these days. It's a lot easier than you might think to get.
Good.
Good imaging data. Sorry. So, yeah. I mean, as you can see, like this guy got from a publicly accessible source, like theoretically 10,000 X-rays. So do you want to play with this one? This is a Jupyter notebook.
Yeah, it's got a data source and everything. Yeah. Fun.
So we could try and take a look at this guy. So let's see. So we're gonna grab it. So what another thing that I usually do, because they don't often have whatchamacallit, a container, I will often fork it, do my own container, and then actually push it back.
Nice.
And make a PR out of it, assuming I get to one that works. So why don't we?
So you clearly have not forked this one.
That is correct.
Or did you fork it in the past and just to clean it up?
Well, I think I kind of dropped some of the quality of my work because I knew I was going to do the Twitch stream for it. So I may not have done it for this one, but so. So, oops.
SSH agent.
Let's see if I can get my agent fixed real quick. Yeah, I guess not. Tmux gets angry with my agent sometimes. Yeah, it's pissed off, so we'll leave it alone. All right, so now let's just set the upstream, which is just something I kind of do pretty immediately just so I don't forget. And so git remote add upstream. All right, so now it's if you aren't familiar, right? So now we just have both of them. We have mine, right, and then we have it as a fork to the upstream. All right, so now we can take a look in here and see how they tell us to make it go. All right, so
simply.
I love this.
Step one,
right?
Simply.
Right.
You haven't done enough CS. If step one is simply, you haven't been in.
Right.
I have so much problem with language like that. Just simply, easy, simple, like things like you can make this work easier. You cannot make this work simple.
Right. Well, that's true.
Sense.
Right.
Right. Like simple you would think, oh, an iPhone app, right? Like the use of that is simple. But if I hand a brand new iPhone to my, elderly grandparent, they're not going to know what the hell to do with it. So that is not simple. So yeah, let's stop calling things simple. Off soapbox, done. Sorry.
Right. So I obviously tend to be a little biased towards Fedora. But
okay.
Let's do run DNF install -y. Just to make sure it's there. Is it actually pip? I want to say it
Yes.
might not be. It is, right? Or is it
No,
Python
it's
pip?
like Python tools or something like that. Or is it?
This should be a long result.
Python, yeah, Python 3 tools or something like that.
Yeah, it's like something weird, isn't it?
Python 3 pip.
Yeah, maybe it's
Python.
just Python. Well, I think one of the things I need to go find the like docs on this somewhere.
You could do no, it's not even that. You could do a DNF list available pip, or you probably have pip. How do you not have pip installed?
Let's see what happens. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Nope.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So there it goes. So it figured it out.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I believe to be true about DNF that I need to figure out one of these days is that if you say Python dash blah and drop the 3, it'll figure out the 2 or 3 based on what else you have installed.
Does it?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
But I need to go like find a doc that says that that's true.
Okay. Well, we don't necessarily need to find that right now.
No.
We can find out very quickly when we hit.
One of my when I was working on a big project, I worked on a modularity project for multiple years about, which is basically like how to install things differently, right? One of the scariest parts was that is how much magic is actually going on in both Yum and DNF when you do things. All right, so I assume we're going to need something like Jupyter, but maybe we could just try
just adding their existing book.
Yeah. Well, actually, run. What's this thing called? COVID, whatever. Run. Nah, that's probably fine. And then we can say to COVID. So we may change our mind about this later, but typically I might just pull the whole thing in, or I could volume mount it, right? And then I don't know if it tells us what port it's on. I want to say it pops up on 8080, but I could be wrong.
I think Jupyter does by default pop up on 8080. Yeah.
All right, so let's see if that works. Nope. Podman build. COVID. Oh my god, I can't type. 19. Well, it looks like there was a new Fedora out there.
There you go. Well, when you don't specify a version, you get latest.
Oh, I forgot the clean all afterwards. Oops.
Oh yeah.
I usually, when I'm doing this from the get-go, though, I actually don't usually do that, because then if I need to do multiple DNF installs, I can put them sequentially, and they won't have to go re-get all the repo info. And also it'll take advantage of the cache. So like if I forget something, I'll just add a new line and then go back at the end and make them all into one nice line.
Oh, cool. Okay. That's a good development pattern.
Yeah, it's a lot faster.
Yeah, clean at the end. That's the goal.
Right, exactly.
Speed of development and then clean at the end. Yeah, cool. All right,
thinking. Oh, I know what I forgot was pip install for the requirements.txt.
Oh, yeah.
All right, and then so what I'll often do here when I know I don't have a whole lot of confidence in what I'm doing is run rm it. What did I call it?
Shoot.
COVID-19.
Yeah.
COVID-19. And then now I'm in here, so I actually can just muck with it direct, right? So now.
Oh wow. Okay.
Why? Oh right, yeah, because it's like the actual app seems to be in this part.
Yeah, it's in the
And so, yeah, so
COVID
pip
input area.
-r. No, install. All right, so while that's cooking, oops, we will then each time we kind of do something, we do run pip install -r.
You got to get that directory.
Oh, good call.
Yeah.
Which you got to remember every time you do anything in a Docker file, it's like you reboot it. Yeah. That's the way I try to remember it. But I don't remember the weird directory name.
No, I don't either. You'd have to go back into it, to be honest with you. Yeah, that one. COVID-19
that one there.
X-ray 10,000 images. Yeah, that one.
Oops. Oops.
How many things in your buffer do you keep?
How many different buffers do I need? It's really the question.
Do you have? Right. Nice. All right, cool.
All right. So
we have an error here, though.
We do. So that's yucky. So what I'll often do here is hack it. So why don't we say,
is there a TensorFlow in here?
Yeah,
yes, there is.
And so place and rely on backwards compatibility.
Yeah, I think that's the best you're going to be able to do there.
Crossing fingers.
Yeah.
Hopefully I got the, I love that, like, I think Node.js and Python use a different order for, or maybe it's Ruby, for the angle bracket equals in those kinds of files. So like, yeah, it makes my day. All right. So
this is what, so when folks ask me, you know, like, why are you not a developer, Chris? Like, why don't you write code full time? What made you, you know, make the decision to go the ops route versus the dev route? And it's all around syntax, right? Like, I am terrible at remembering syntax. So I knew that without a great IDE, which back in the late 90s, there was not many, at least that were free. Like, I knew I was just a sunk ship. So that's why I decided to go the ops route. So yeah, that's just me.
Well, the yeah, it was funny. So I have two funny stories about that. One is I actually had a professor in college tell me that once I was sufficiently experienced, I would stop having like syntax errors. And
okay.
Yeah, and I took that to heart.
I'll tell that professor that after 20, 30, 25 years now in IT, I still have syntax errors.
And now they're mostly syntax errors. Like
yes, most of my errors are syntax errors. Yeah.
So, so more TensorFlow stuff. Let's see.
What is no matching distribution found for TensorFlow GPU? Yeah. Line 45.
So let's see if we fix them all at once. Wait, what? Oh. So I'm trying to think of that sed command for this.
You are, yeah, you'd have to do like
sort of flow.
No, but like splat dot.
Yeah, like
equals
star equals. Oh, but I need whatchamacallits.
Yeah, like there you go.
And
Craziness.
/1 is that this language, and then angle equals
maybe
G, and then less. Oh, nice.
Oh yeah. Nah. Wait, the Fedora-based image doesn't come with less?
I know, isn't that weird? I find that weird. That and PS and ping are the ones I look for all the time. So now I actually know PS is in proc PS, which
yeah, I could understand why PS wouldn't be in the path. I can understand. I can almost understand why less isn't there because you're not supposed to be mucking around, but like okay.
Oh, maybe if I gave it a file, that would make it work better.
Oh, that helps.
Hey, look, it worked. First try. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm
Right?
impressed.
Now
See?
we'll make it real and try. Oh,
So-
wait, let's grab this while we're still here.
So to prove that your professor was right, and when you're good enough,
Exactly.
you won't make syntax errors.
Right. Where did my
So Jafar asked, does adding the worker help in the Docker file? Yes.
I just did.
Yes, thank you.
So
that makes life much easier.
yeah.
Um,
And that works on the first one, right? Like that works for the following operations too, right? That's not just once
it's not
you're done,
just
right?
that one. You got extra space in there, I think, somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And then you can just pip install from that. Okay.
God, whose idea is this TensorFlow thing, man? It's big.
Well, so I've heard it's kind of a big deal.
Right.
Now, TensorFlow is very, very cool. If there was one area of like, growth or whatever that, like, if I had infinite resources and time, it would be learning more like AI and ML type stuff, right? Like,
Yeah.
I would like to take large data sets and then break them down into useful bits of information, right? Like, that would be super handy for me to learn those skills and how to kind of work with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's neat. The thing is like, the whole ML thing, like they keep talking about is like AI, but it's fancy statistics, right?
Very, very different. There's a big difference between AI and ML, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think we lump them together because they have such similar outcomes.
Right.
But there's very big differences between the two. And, with ML, it's math, and, algorithms and all that fun stuff. With AI, it's actually like inference and determinations and all this other fun stuff.
Sorry, more angry bits.
But you'll have TensorBoard, which is incompatible.
Good gracious!
So
maybe we should change them all to a greater than equal.
Anything tensor, I think you have to just kind of.
I also just
no
got
space left.
What?
How much room do you got on your disk?
A lot, or I should.
You should.
What is this directory? Oh, wait, what?
Are you in your home directory?
Oops.
Oh.
Yeah, it's 45 gigs. It should be okay.
I
wonder. Oh, Podman, I bet, is running at home. That's why. Hey, I keep introducing this tool to people that have never heard of it. SSM, System Storage Manager.
Okay.
Which
I know of SS, which is like
not the same.
Not the same at all, but SSM. Okay.
Ooh, that's not good. There's only 2 gigs left. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that's not going to hold up this TensorFlow.
Yeah.
This package is like 500 each.
Let's just see. Nope. Let's do Podman images. I wonder if I have a lot of janky stuff.
Oh,
yes, I do.
Wow, look at all those none tags.
Podman.
Look at you, you naughty, naughty pod builder.
Let's see. grep. I can never remember. So I made an alias for this a long time ago, but then I can remember what it is. So,
and I'm sure you're.
All right, let's see if that got anything.
Oh yeah, cleaned up a bunch.
Yeah,
not really.
Let me kill this.
Still got a bunch more though.
Man, RMI.
Whatever you were doing 8 weeks ago, you didn't do very, 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 very.
I was actually doing a hackathon of all things. Funny. Wait, what did that say?
Nice.
Yeah, 180.
No space left on device. Dang.
Wait, so I can't delete? Oh, good gracious. That's one of my favorite things about Linux.
Yeah, like if
you have no room left, you also can't clean up.
Especially if you're trying to use Podman for it. So you got to get down to actual blocks, right? Like actual files and shit.
All right, so sudo ssm resize 62G. Oops, did it again.
Oh my gosh. There you go.
Oh, forgot a flag.
To resize. Oh, man.
Okay, so now I should have 2 gigs back. So I should be able to delete that. Good. And then let's do, what was it, DRI. There we go.
Okay. Cleaning all the things. Cool.
And
where's home? Home
it's
still
still only
has
3 gigs.
2.8. Okay.
Oops. Wrong thing.
Yeah. Pod's running.
Hmm.
I'm trying to think. What is your biggest image there? It's Fedora, which is got to keep.
Yeah. Oh, I shouldn't need the
wait.
Z and C.
This is your home? Like, this is your laptop? Like, what are we
No,
doing right
no,
now?
this is
okay. I was about to say.
Yeah, no.
Like,
Actually, my laptop's
you're mounting home storage in your laptop?
my laptop actually has a terabyte NVMe in it now, though.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Super slick.
Of course, this is one of the things I forgot to check. It is not. You are full of lies. What?
Could not remove image. Yeah, it's.
Let's see. Podman RM. Where is it? 1F6. We can kill my. Yeah, so I wrote for a hackathon. I wrote an auto transcriptor for video conferencing. So when you're in a video conference, it would actually live do transcription for it. So kind of like Google Meet does,
yeah.
But you could just plug it into any video conferencing system by using
cool.
the dial-in information. Which
That's
it was
slick.
pretty cool. I just haven't. I need to kind of get back to it and like finish it.
Like I could legit use that. I feel like.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of handy. It came from a friend of mine who's been steadily losing her hearing, and I was just chit chatting with her, kind of thing, and I was like, "Oh, that would probably make your life easier, wouldn't it?"
Yeah.
All right, well, so we got 3 gigs now. Should we try it again? See what happens?
I mean, you can maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think
give
where
it a
I
whirl.
can get some.
Yeah, until you dive in there.
I could also try this. I bet it's on VG data. I can try stealing some space out of somewhere else, but I think
at the very least, I'm getting a good SSM tutorial out of this.
Oh yeah, it's super handy. I really like it.
It looks like it, yeah.
Because that way I don't have to remember LVM commands.
Which is funny because remembering LVM commands used to be things that I copied and pasted out of Evernote back when I used it.
Right, exactly. Yes, I actually switched to. I don't know if you noticed my little notepad thing here. This is a open source
Joplin.
Evernote.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I use it all the time now. I'm just trying to see if there's someplace I can steal data from. But I can't take it from opt because it's XFS, which you can't shrink, which I still don't understand why that's not a feature.
Well, many moons ago, when SGI built XFS,
that could be why.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I find odd is like where is all this space? See, this is the only problem with SSM though, is that this thing reports 10 gigs free, but if I do DF, it reports 3 gigs free. And I think the DF is correct most of the time. And it's like SSM like needs to catch up or something. It's like, what?
That's weird.
Yeah, I think so too.
Does it have a daemon associated with it? Like,
no.
How would it? It's
random
script that checks disk size every once in a while. What the hell?
Yeah, it's weird. I haven't I've noticed it, but I haven't looked into it enough to try to like go file a bug or or figure out why it might be mismatched.
Right.
All right. Well, let's see if we can.
Let's give it a try.
Oh, but we have a real error up here.
Yeah.
So we got to do your should we do
tensor,
everything?
Yeah, and anything tensor related. I would just do the.
So let's
chomp. I always forget the sideways, which is less than, which is greater than thing. I used to have a sticky note. I've lost it.
You mean like the open alligator mouth?
Yeah,
Layout?
like you telling me open always equals, something like that doesn't grok for me or whatever reason.
Oh yeah, yeah. You just have to remember the alligator is biting the bigger one.
Yeah, but that still doesn't tell me which symbol, if I look at it, is less than or greater than.
That's true. That's true. I agree. I did manage to convince one of my kids, like second grade, first grade teacher, to start using bang for exclamation point,
Nice.
because when they're that young, they try to use like action words to indicate what the end characters are.
Right. So yeah. Let's see. Javathello, I think I said that name right. I've addressed this issue in the past by symlinking the Podman storage directory someplace else. So
yeah, that's how I usually have it set up. I'm actually
Yeah.
a little surprised why it's stuck there. I think I did a rebuild on this machine and maybe I forgot that step. It's kind of a pain. Like
you do it once though and you're done.
Yeah, I know, but you got to do it both for yourself and for root, so that you can, if
Yes.
you're running root.
Yeah, if you're running.
So I think I did it for root containers, but not
yourself.
my containers.
Yeah. Environments. And this is
Yes.
what containers are for.
Right.
Yes. All right, so we've got some more errors.
Yeah, but it's the same error. Did my
gas,
said not take?
But you'll have gas 2.0, which is in 2.2, which is compatible. Has a requirement of gas 3, but you'll have gas. What? Wait. What is TensorBoard all about? What is TensorBoard?
All right. But you'll have gas.
But you'll have TensorBoard, which is incompatible.
But why do I have gas 2.2 instead of the later one?
Because gas you haven't edited.
I did.
You did?
Yeah. I did it while we were talking.
Shoot. Okay. What in the world? But you'll have
maybe I need to do no.
Maybe you need to leave gas alone and
see what TensorBoard says.
That's
all right. Let's just try the TensorBoard and see if that fixes it.
Yeah. But you can see, right? Like taking somebody else's code and building a container out of it is not as trivial as one would think, even with all the requirements defined.
Right. It's well, actually, personally, this is actually one of the things that is kind of a pet peeve of mine and why like package managers exist and all that jazz. It's like there's a very common practice these days of declaring hard exact dependencies, right? So using equals instead of like greater than or equals. Because of the whole, and I think it's largely because the whole works on my machine problem, right? So containers in some way solve some of that, but they don't solve this part, which, like personally, like I think we need to much more commonly use that equals less. We need to use like angle bracket equals, and then deal with the errors when they're there, and so that it happens more regularly during development.
Right.
I don't know, but I definitely am of two minds about it because it's a pain in the butt. So
I think the thing that people need to realize is that when you're building something, it doesn't always exist in the point in time you're building it.
Right.
Exactly. Like someone else is going to find this someday, especially if you left it on GitHub and come along and say, oh, this might solve my problems, but I need it in a container.
Right.
And if they spend 43 minutes trying to put something in a container before they even get started using your code, right? Like you've created this massive hurdle for them already.
Well, and what's hard is that the even if this had a container, because the whatever you're from
because
is
locked
right is
dependencies are
so what if you wanted this to work and work for always, right? You need to do Fedora and some tag. But that has the reverse problem of but then Fedora or whatever will be potentially out of
date at some point
or whatever. All right.
So yeah, it's a circular problem, it seems like. But developing for flexibility and developing for the person that comes and finds your thing a year or two from now and then develops from it, I think is a big deal.
Yeah. All right, so that worked. I moved our sed commands into the Docker file.
Thank you.
So now the thing is, I don't know if that did install Jupyter.
No, you did not. Well, check again. Check the requirements. I don't think it did.
Oops.
Because I don't recall seeing Jupyter, because it would have been more than one Jupyter thingy bouncing around.
Yeah, I know. All right, so don't need sudo.
Yeah.
I don't. That's another one. I don't understand why they don't just have a like stub for sudo that doesn't do anything. Because as far as I'm concerned, like the command is sudo DNF, right? It's not just DNF.
Well, yeah. I mean, but as an old sysadmin, right, I'm always root if I'm installing packages, right? Like if I'm going on a big install chain, I am always going to be the root.
I think that's a rel thing. So if you're a rel admin, you're always root. And I think if you were on other Linuxes or Unixes, you were much more likely to use sudo.
Yeah, no,
that's where I learned.
I think you're probably right, because my background is rel admin, right?
Yeah,
like from the very beginning of rel, right?
Right.
So yeah.
All right. So, any idea what the Jupyter package is called?
Jupyter something.
Yeah, my guess is just Jupyter.
My assumption would be there's a bunch
like Jupyter.
of Jupyter thingies, depending upon what you're doing.
Yeah. Oops.
So
let's see what happens if I
go back to the repo real quick for me.
Yeah.
I'm just curious what the actual documentation says. Simply install
Python and Jupyter Notebook.
Okay, so you got to install.
So Python, we're a little ahead of the game, right? Like as in, we should have installed Jupyter first.
Jupyter too, yeah.
Right. So, yeah.
So let's go ahead and work on that. So you could do a DNF list available Jupyter.
Let's just try. See what happens.
You can install it. Yeah, no.
But see, here's what I think that trick is.
Yeah.
Nope. Maybe I'm wrong.
Jupyter wrong. You spelled Jupyter wrong.
I did?
No, you didn't. Never mind.
Yeah. So maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. There's something weird there. Oh, no, maybe it just doesn't exist.
Okay. No.
Oh, there's like flavors. There's like launcher and console.
Yeah, you're going to need
the internet.
The WebNet. Yes. Install Jupyter Notebook.
On Fedora. There we go. Oh. Let's do this. Hey, here's a Fedora magazine article.
Yeah, even better.
Scan.
Jupyter, DID.
Remember we were talking about
DNF install.
There we go.
Python 3-notebook.
That
makes sense.
That seems intuitive.
Yeah,
and
that makes total sense.
Things are.
You might want to install additional and optional Python modules commonly used by data scientists. I would say you might not want to do all that.
Let's not do that.
Yeah.
That seems like work.
Yeah. I mean, if something fails, then we'll know we need something, and then we can throw the book at it. But that's
exactly. There we go.
It's installing Inkscape. Hold up.
What? Really?
Yes. Hold up.
I wasn't really paying attention because I'm inside.
Installing weak dependencies. Inkscape. Okay.
There's a flag I can pass to Python to DNF.
It's possible that it's using Inkscape to like throw out images, right?
Yeah,
like
I wonder if
render
it's
and throw out SVGs or something.
How bad is it going to be if I Control C this? Let's kill that. It was still
because that seems like
let's get rid of these.
Yeah,
see if it works and not get Inkscape. Nope, still getting
still there, and Pandoc, and so it's got to be some kind of generation thing. Yeah.
Well, it's not installing X, right? So okay,
right. We're not too far down the rabbit hole. Jeez, wow, that's a lot of packages. Okay.
All right. So, but like I was saying before, if we do this, it will build faster for now.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
58 megs.
Wonder if we should do that. And then podman ps all.
You want to kill it and start over? What?
Yeah, because I think it'll be smaller.
You're probably right.
F58. Is there anything else I can kill? Oh, I can kill that toolbox. Do you use Coolbox at all?
Coolbox?
Toolbox, this guy.
No, can't say I do. What's up with
So
Toolbox?
with
Talk to me.
Silver Blue or any like what do they call it?
FS or OS tree?
Yeah, like read-only operating system
Yeah.
kind of idea. There's a guy, Debarshi Ray, who was like, yeah, but I can't do anything now. I can't install anything.
Yeah.
So he built, basically originally it was just a shell script. I think it's been ported to Go now. But basically this long shell script that created a container and mounted it very tightly into the operating system. So like it mounted your home directory in and like all your shell scripts and all that other stuff. So it felt like you were still in a regular old command line, but it's actually in a container. So you could actually like DNF install whatever you want.
And it would just be another container running on your OS somewhere. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Cool.
And it's pretty good. It's got a couple of challenges with it. I've been trying to use it. So the machine that we're on is just a normal workstation install, but my laptop is a Silverblue install. So I've been using it a lot on Silverblue, but I don't use it as much. What I'm trying to get is one. I actually have a set of Ansible scripts, whatever, that kind of set it up so that I can just kind of say, okay, go make me a toolbox, which not only gives you the toolbox, but then also like installs all the things I like. So yeah.
So there is a question in chat. Does it make more sense to update the requirements.txt file as opposed to the packages that are being installed? Maybe. It depends, right? So for OS level packages, I would say let the OS level package installer manage that and not necessarily Python. But you could, assuming that pip has the packages available that you need, and there is going to be some divergence there, right? Like where the line is between pip and the package manager for your OS could be very fuzzy. So just keep that in mind.
And Python's better
versions,
than most.
Yeah, Python's way better than most, but just keep in mind that version mismatching and all that fun stuff, right? Like if you're worried about pinning to versions, that's where requirements comes in. If you're worried about just having it like we are here, we're just going to install it with the OS, right? Like we'll trust the Fedora installer, DNF over Python.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those like on the bubble kind of things.
Yeah. It's just we default to OS because of who we are, kind of things. I think.
Well, maybe. Yeah, I tend to prefer the OS install if I can. But there's also an argument to be made for if you're in a container,
it doesn't matter. Yeah, like you
might even want to go all pip,
right? Like you, in theory, like you should be scratch building this container with Python and then pumping it out so it can use whatever OS you want, as the running base image.
Actually, now that you mention it, I didn't even look to see if we could have just based it on a Jupyter container.
Nah.
Hey, look at that. Probably. Look at all those notebooks.
There's an official one, yes.
So that that might have been faster.
That could have been a lot faster.
I think I might have done that originally, actually, now that I think about it.
That would make sense given the problems we're hitting.
Right. details. Although all the TensorFlow stuff.
Yeah, we'd still have to probably manage that somehow. But it'd be nice if you could like multiple froms and just have like a nice. Well, yeah, you could do that. You could build it once, and then you'd have this mega image thing that would just have all of TensorFlow and all of Jupyter Nub for your devs. But then you'd be in this reductive mode. Containers are supposed to be small as opposed to big, and da 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 da. Anyway,
isn't I don't know what the container is, but isn't that the Open Data Hub? Doesn't it have all that jazz?
I thought it was supposed to. That's the second line there. Open Data Hub.
Where? Oh, One of the things I hate about tmux's select is that it jumps back down if you let go of the select.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you can't just like highlight something. If I take my finger off, it'll jump.
Oh, great.
I just have a hard time getting used to it because that's not what happens in a normal terminal. There's a data hub for LinkedIn. I don't know what that means.
No. Anyways,
yeah, do we keep waiting for it? Do we try the Jupyter?
Let's do the Jupyter thing, man, because this is a
Big
long time going. We're at 38 and through 40 of 350. Yeah. We have not packaged up a container yet. We've been on air for about 50 minutes. So
we could also switch projects.
No, I would like to continue down this path as efficiently as possible. You have started down this road. We've gone down this road. We are continuing down this road. Here we go.
All right. Well, given our challenges with space, let's see.
Oops. What can you clear out now?
How about 06B, not D?
I do that.
And then, okay. So, which one did we like?
I like.
Just pick this one.
Well, did you want to do the data hub ones or not?
I don't know that this is Red Hat's Open Data Hub, is it?
Okay, I don't know either.
Yeah, like I have no idea what this is.
Yeah, no. Okay, so yeah, let's just do the Jupyter Notebook one then.
Yeah. We actually want Jupyter Notebook though, right? Because this is like multi-user server and stuff. Do we want that?
Yeah. We want the notebook, small base image for Jupyter Notebook stacks. Yeah, I would use that.
Sounds good, maybe.
Yeah, base notebook. I don't want the minimal notebook. Wait, whoa. Go back. I saw a TensorFlow something.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Oops.
Somewhere. I swear. Scroll back up.
If I could type, that would help. What I was going to do.
Oh, yeah. Grep for TensorFlow. Get that one. There you go. Save us a lot of time. Or waste a bunch of disk space. One or the other. We'll see.
Oops. There's the pace buffer again.
Hi, pace buffer. DD that guy. Or comment it out. Whatever you want. Yeah. You still need that.
Probably need these. Probably. Yeah. Let's give that a whirl.
Really? I would take the seds out. To be honest.
You think?
I don't know. Yeah. I wouldn't want to muck. I wouldn't want to muck with it because you still need the. Yeah. But yeah, I would just if the prereqs, you still need to do the requirements. But if the prereqs are have Python, have Jupyter Hub, we have that now, and we have TensorFlow supposedly,
right?
At least the base images. So the requirements thing should go a little bit easier, I would think. I could be completely wrong. You're gonna run out of disk space though before it's all said and done.
Trying to think if there's
Well, you have 99 megs in music.
I was going through old discs. It's like stuff like
got a German news MP4. What the hell?
Oh, that was my son had a class project where he had to make a video of him reading a German news story. Like,
oh, nice. German. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. So where is you looking for disk space?
This is quite the journey.
I know, right? Let's see. Yeah, see, it's always cache.
Yeah, I mean, cache makes things faster and takes up a lot of disk space. So
right. Oh, we could whack Vert Builder. That's half a gig.
Oh yeah.
Because it'll just re-download it.
Yeah. Don't touch Flatpak or Evolution. That's for sure. What is How Do I?
How Do I is amazing. That's you don't even have to go to a browser to use Stack Overflow. What was the question we had before? Let's see, Fedora. I don't know if this will work well. It's better for like command lookups.
Yeah. How do I Fedora Jupyter? What is it?
Huh?
Oh,
all right.
okay.
But so like use sed with groups.
No nc do. Is nc do a command? Or am I reading that wrong?
Where do you see that?
It's in chat.
Oh.
Dallas Luther from over on YouTube says no ncdu.
I don't know what that is.
I don't even know what that is either.
Neither does Fedora.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Oops. Oh.
A text-based disk usage viewer. Oh,
I have
cool.
never tried that.
I have never tried that either, but I'm glad to know it's a thing. Thank you, Dallas. I didn't even know that might actually come in handy on the box I have over here. Thank you. Did not know what that was till just now.
Why would this error? Oh, am I not root? I wonder.
Did you set a user?
No, but I wonder if they did.
Yeah.
So if I say user root. I don't even know what this error means.
What that error means either. --o pipe failed. That must be something from the Docker image itself. So Podman might not be the answer here.
I think Podman would like this not to be a Docker formatted thing. I think it's just yelling at us. I don't think it's an actual error. Because I mean, it's still progressing.
For OCI image format. It's just ignoring the pipe fail command. So, okay. I wonder what that means, though.
What?
I'm sure Jafar knows what that means. Error known and unknown instruction is working dir?
That's what it is, right?
Yeah. Unless, wait, did you check it out? Is it you didn't happen to delete the contents, did you?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Weird.
Well, this is one of those you got to know where your containers come from, huh?
Yeah. So maybe just use the Jupyter one.
Yeah. Shoot. Remember what
I think it was just a base notebook, I think.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So impressed with myself how well I can get around VI these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're doing better than I am.
So it's pretty similar.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get an error here too.
I have not seen this before. I don't have any idea what this is.
It's work dir, all one word, by the way.
Says. Then why did the other one work?
I have no idea, man.
Weird.
I just work here.
Or there. In your work dir.
There you go. I still don't like this error, though.
Yeah.
It's like, I would fail, but I'm not going to fail. Oh, it's doing more now. Okay, cool.
Must be perfect.
Yeah, right. Perfect.
I would like to know what it was doing, though.
First, look up the command real quick. This thing's going to take a little bit, it looks like.
Oh, I probably should have switched back to the other user, but of course I don't know what the other user is.
You could just set it to user 1000.
But I guess this guy?
Yeah, apparently. Don't include your home directory? Interesting.
The worst part is, I'm not even sure this is going to work.
It's going to run out of disk space.
I am very sorry that is happening. I am a little surprised, honestly. I'm usually better about making sure of those sorts of things. We still have 6 gigs.
Oh, okay. Should be fine.
See if there's anything else I could dump.
Whack. Yeah. What can you whack?
Where is containers? It's under. I thought it was under cache.
You're gonna have to do some file system finding.
Yeah.
Find /
I know it's in one of the. Oops.
Name containers type D. That should be super fast.
Oops.
Yeah. It should be a super fast find. Nope. Nope. Just do your local home directory, man.
Yeah, I guess. But will it search the hidden directories?
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, we found it because of the errors.
Yeah.
It's in local.
Ew. Local share container storage.
Now I basically just use arrow to dev null for like all find commands because using containers, just everything is locked.
Yeah. All right. What's the big thing?
7 gigs in containers.
Well, that'll do you.
But there's not a whole lot more I can delete, I don't think.
No, it doesn't look like it. What's the error here? No space left on device.
Oh, good gracious. All right. Let's do. Oh, no.
I would say, let's just pop over to my device that has plenty of disk space. But my Mac, I don't think I could actually screen share and build things.
I wonder if I just did it as a root container. I wonder where those are going.
That's not going to clobber disk space, though.
I think it won't be storing in my home directory.
Oh, good point.
I don't remember where it's going to store it, but
under root, where you have root mounted.
That's a good question. Let's see. It's in var lib containers. Yes. df minus h. There's only 6 gigs there too.
Do you need me to build you a container?
Number of times I've heard that. Let's see.
You know what?
Where is there? Let's do
time.
You can also do this. And then this should, let's do podman ps all.
So today, instead of judging hackathons, we're learning how to clean up space.
Exactly.
On Linux file systems.
I'm usually in better shape than this. I'm a little disappointed. Let's see, make dir mount.
But this just goes to the point that when you build as many containers, like you're probably building during these hackathons. You're probably running Podman build hundreds of times.
Right.
To judge these things. So of course you're going to have cruft, right? Like, exactly. Of course there's going to be stuff you need to clean up because you're trying things, you're doing things, you're manipulating containers in all these weird ways, and now there's all these different versions of it, images, layers, all the stuff that you're gonna have to clean up at some point. And this is the container builder's journey to an extent. But normally the container builder is building on their 1 gig of or 1 terabyte of NVMe on their laptop.
Yes, exactly.
No offense.
Let's see.
But
we could switch to my laptop.
Actually, I don't know if your laptop would keel over trying to build this stuff. I don't know. You tell me, man.
I might be all right. The only reason I did on the remote was because of the For RAM, basically.
Yeah, right. Like I get it. And I know Zoom and building containers at the same time might not be the funnest thing, but yeah.
Let's try it.
The joys.
Cloak. rsync. What? Why is this not completing?
I have no idea what you're doing right now. You just are syncing stuff to some other box, your local machine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's why. I knew there was something wrong. I couldn't figure out what it was. All right.
All right. Cool.
All right. And then we say, oops. Well, I can't quit that, apparently.
Spam that one. All
right. Nope. Build T. Oh, I forgot TMUX though.
Do you need it that bad?
Just so I can switch windows.
Oh, yeah.
I can always do this. I was just going to make sure I had plenty of disk. I only have 8 gigs because I'm... See, the problem is I'm really conservative about disk. And so like I only kind of add it on demand.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like somebody that treats disk as something important.
Well, and like I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, and so
right,
I haven't
like
had
no. Like this is a problem of like your youth, right? Like
right.
I remember going and buying my first hard drive when I was like 15 years old. It was 1.6 gigs, and it cost $300. Right? Like, of course, I'm going to be a little more judicious with my storage, but
at the same time,
the cost of storage has fallen so much.
So yeah,
are you just not applying another management layer?
746 free, right?
Much better.
All right, so that should are going to be different.
Okay. Build.
I do like that I can live resize the thing while it's cooking.
Yes. No, like that is the beauty of Linux, right? Like,
yeah.
Move disk images around so that you can create more disk and things still runs just fine. No problem. Gotta love.
Oh, I didn't think of the YumDNF cache. That was a good idea. I should totally do that.
Oh, shoot.
Except I keep doing lookups in it. So
yeah.
I'm on the bubble. But this exact problem is why I need to switch to Btrfs.
Really?
Is because then because Btrfs is just you just kind of like allocate all the space into one kind of big like logical volume, and then you have these like sub volumes, so you can logically break it up, but they kind of can change size automatically. And then it also dedupes and all that stuff too. Which is
nice. Well, yeah. The second you say dedupe, I'm on board. So
yeah. Talking pretty seriously about making Fedora Workstation default to Btrfs.
Wow. I would not have like if you would have told me that 3 years ago, I would not have thought that would have even been an option. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's
quite the shift.
There's a lot of traffic about it, but
yeah,
might see it in October.
Wow. All right. Cool. Yeah, but again, we're building along here still. That's good.
It's always reassuring when it says uninstalling.
Yeah. Found existing installation, uninstalling, reinstall. Weird. Okay.
So I will say, I have usually gone much faster than this.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what it's doing. A series of uninstalls and reinstalls. That's really weird.
Well, what I'm afraid of, it's because we're running the requirements.txt, which is at
equals
odds with the
yes.
Docker.
Yeah.
With
So the Docker version has a certain version of stuff, but it's finding the same versions of stuff. Weird. Fun. No, you broke up there. What'd you say?
It's a feature.
No, okay. So I forgot.
Now I'm finally watching the chat, by the way, so that makes it a little easier.
Yeah, thanks. I've got to increase the font size so I can actually read it. My bad, y'all. Thank you, Jafar, for jumping in. Salium, Podman System Prune, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that would have cleared out a whole bunch. But I still don't think it would have cleared up enough disk on his other box to make it a successful journey.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna fix one of these days. It said it has a very small SSD and then a couple of terabytes of spinny disk. And I get overexcited about the performance difference. And I should just like whatever, put the stuff on the spinny disks. You should know this. What do you know why we're getting this error? What this
No,
means?
I do not know what that means. Must use Docker
but Sally might
format.
Who's in the chat?
Maybe, I don't know,
because she works on containers.
Oh, okay. Shell is not supported for OCI image
should we
format.
search for it?
I'm searching for it right now. There's Bugzilla reports galore. Let's see.
Somebody asked if it was Alpine Linux.
No.
I don't know because we just took somebody's random
we took
container image.
We took a Jupyter Hub or Jupyter Notebook.
It's not that random.
We took a Jupyter Notebook container from Docker Hub, and it was from the Jupyter org. So it's not random, but it is a container that we found on the internet, right? Just like all others. Yeah.
Sally
so
says,
if you run
shrug.
--net equals host, suppose this has got to be some really specific error. Never mind, that's not the right.
This might have worked.
It finished. Can you run it?
Let's see.
TBD.
Yeah, I was trying to see who I built it as. Podman -rm T. So this might be challenging. Oh, how about run? Ooh, oh, and a fancy font for that prompt. Look at that. I bet they have less. Nope.
That's
all right. So theoretically, oh, I forgot to do P.
Oh yeah. All right.
All right.
So
let's
what's
see.
next in your COVID
journey? All right. So now you gotta like, oh, maybe let's actually run this as whatchamacallit. Let's just
run do it as a daemon. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And then where is it? 40.
It goes to 8.
It looks like they're on 80, 80, 88, 80,
yeah.
8,
okay.
8, 8.
Ooh.
What?
Wait. Go back. Currently running servers. It has a token ID right there.
Yeah, but it's like cut off.
Truncated. That's weird. Set up a password.
See.
You can also set up a password by entering your token and a new password on the fields below. So I would do that.
I was just looking to see if it was in the... Oh, yeah, here's the token.
Oh, okay. Well, you just need the number. Or, yeah, you could do that too.
There we go.
Okay.
All right. So then we need the... Where's the notebook? Wait, what?
It's an input, I think. Yeah.
No, it's this guy. This is the... Oh, wait.
That's it. You have to load the notebook, right?
But I have...
You have to open the notebook? Something is in this input directory. Is that just the data set?
So yeah, so this is like the data set and the like material to run the model.
Right.
But this is the actual notebook.
Which makes sense.
So let me just see if it can't see it or something. Exec IT 25C.
It's not even in there.
Yeah, it's here.
There it is. Okay.
But
what is it under?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
It's under opt COVID.
Oops. Yeah, so why?
Because, well, you built.
Oh, okay.
You put everything in opt COVID. So go into not data set. So opt isn't available.
Yeah, see, it's not going. It's starting one directory in.
But this is because of something in your Docker file, right? So go open your Docker file real quick. Right?
Let's look over here. Ah, yep.
Yeah.
I bet it's this. Oh, nope. Oh boy.
What are you doing? What do you think it is?
We want that, but then we want that.
Yes. Switch the working dir back. Yeah. And expose. Is expose even doing anything right now?
No.
Clearly not.
Because
just dump it.
Well, it exposed 8080, but
it's not
the base exposed the correct directory or correct port.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now, oops. Yes, podman RM 25C build.
It should be pretty quick. Can you copy and paste that error to me in like Slack or something, just so I can figure out what the freaking error means?
So what I really want to know is why working dir worked originally. Or maybe it didn't and it just ignored it.
Yeah, maybe the default is ignore.
This is the other thing I hate about using like requirements.txt files in a container, because you're adding it, and so therefore it's treated as always new, so it doesn't cache it.
Right.
So it has to reinstall everything again.
Which you could, in theory,
unless there's some secret that I don't know about.
Yeah, there's got to be a way to fix that. Oh, that's quite the error message.
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty cool.
Well, you know, I have Scott McCarty coming on later today. I can always ask him.
Exactly.
Scott, if you're watching right now, be ready to answer this question. What does this mean?
Exactly.
That would be funny if that's how I started the stream. Like, welcome, Scott McCarty. Introduce yourself, blah, blah, blah. Oh, by the way, on an earlier stream today.
Exactly. Little tie back. I also think that when I do this, normally I also I'll do multiple in parallel. Like, so while this is cooking, I'll go work on a different project.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If I'm building a large image on a device behind me, like, I don't even build images on this device, right? Like, I automatically throw it to hardware that's like not something I'm driving on, because I don't even want to waste those CPU cycles on a machine that I'm probably at any given moment am about to either edit a graphics file or open a Zoom call, right? Like,
right. Exactly. Well, and also just the patience factor, right? So I'll do one of these, hackathon projects and another one at the same time.
Yeah. So, like, how did you get involved with the Boston University community? I mean, like, how did all that evolve, right?
So when we opened our Boston office, like Red Hat, the it's kind of one of those chicken and egg things. I don't know if one was a driver for the other or not or whatever, but as part of that, we also started a collaboration with Boston University called the Collaboratory.
Oh, cool. You're breaking up a little bit.
With a bunch of better.
Sorry.
Let me turn off my Wi-Fi, because sometimes I think it goes off the wrong one. All right, so basically we work with some of the professors over there and their PhD students, as well as even undergrads and stuff, on working on kind of research projects for Red Hat. So like things that we would like to see in the world. And we usually, I mean, they're aligned, obviously, right? So a PhD is going to work on their project. There's for example, a bunch of unikernel stuff going on over there, as well as like one project I think is really interesting, which is comparing and contrasting the pricing of running this serverless function based on which cloud he actually has a mechanism to say, run this serverless function in this cloud versus that cloud, because it'll save you money.
Wow. Okay, that's cool. You broke up a little bit there, but I think the audience got the gist, right? Like, they have a project to figure out which cloud has the best or cheapest or whatever serverless thing for your workload, kind of deal.
Yeah. For an individual serverless function. And then actually the biggest project we're actually probably involved in over there is what's called the Massachusetts Open Cloud, which is a collaboration of a bunch of universities and some commercial companies, including Red Hat, and maybe even a couple of government agencies. I don't know if that's was talked about and didn't happen, or actually happened or not, but basically a shared infrastructure for running research workloads. And it's all running OpenStack. And one of the projects we've been working on is dynamically allocating servers to OpenStack instances on a leasing basis. So you can kind of say, okay, I'm organization X, I only use the hardware at night, but if a researcher wants to use it during the day, they can attach it to their OpenStack instance and use it for the research during the day, but I automatically get it back at night and stuff like that.
So I can
it's pretty slick.
Whatever, apologies for the dog in the background if you can hear it. Family's just getting home from some adventure, I'm sure. Let's see, Podman.
This is one of the things I filed a bug about. You'll see in a second.
Okay.
Which is that these ports drift, which is something I don't like about Podman.
What do you mean?
Instead of being the same thing, if you
you don't like the fact that it's randomly generated.
Port.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
And not in a predictable way. In Docker, it
totally
counts up.
Yeah.
I suppose I could use named things more often, but
yeah, you could. Okay. So get our token.
All right.
There
Hey, look at that.
There we go. Much better.
Progress.
Yes. We know how to build.
Oh, if we'd started this way, it would have gone much better, huh?
Yeah, no kidding. All right.
All right. Now, does anybody know how to use a Jupyter notebook?
Nope. Again, like I said earlier in the podcast, using TensorFlow backend, load data set. Do you have anything in the data set? Also, it's not going to be an F:\\\.
Probably not.
Wow. Okay.
It's going to be there, though.
Yeah. Interesting.
Maybe.
I wonder what other, are there any other hard pathed things? Data
we'll find out.
/COVID.
I mean, it's cooking. It's not throwing errors.
Oh,
hey, look at that.
Look at that. We're getting images. Oh, shit. This is cool. Wow. Still running?
Yeah. So, like, it's following. So you see the blue bit
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
It's following that whenever I hit run.
Okay.
No, I mean, and so I don't.
So it's doing it step by step.
Yeah.
Run.
I think I can just say go, but.
Right.
But
why don't you just start back over and run the whole damn thing?
Part.
This is.
Oh, it didn't like that.
Oh boy.
How
TF is not defined.
All right, let's restart. Maybe I can just say.
For the record, this is the most time I've spent in a Jupyter notebook ever.
I think I'm on the same page. All right, let's do that and see if it.
Restart and run all calls. There we go. It went all the way to the end.
Maybe.
Is there an error? It says read only.
That seems positive. Wait, where's that?
At the very top. Like
yeah, because it's like this trusted thing.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Stay on page.
No, I'm going to stay on page.
All
right, so we got those images again.
Cool.
Oh, wait, no. So...
data. There's like actual comparison data. Here we go.
Yeah, I think it's just cooking and we're not being patient enough.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. That's cool.
It'd be nice if it told you.
It is.
Somehow.
I mean, it has the little progress 2 of 3. I mean, it's just, it only updates when it updates, right? Like.
Oh, yeah, no,
if there was something on
the
left-hand side that says like a spinny thingy that we're running by that blue bar, that'd be cool.
Right.
You know? But that's
I think
a
people who are competent in their ML stuff
Jupyter notebookery. Yeah. So this is going to run how many times? Looks like 40 times. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Huh.
This is neat. This is neat though. Yeah, I bet Python's eating your shit alive. Yep. I'm surprised you're not like breaking up on Zoom, to be honest with you.
Well, I could nice it down too, but
you could, but yeah.
Well, I mean, so this was the point, though.
Yeah,
we got to where we wanted to get to, right?
We've built this
and so now we have a Docker file that will do the thing.
So, are you willing to check this back in? Are you willing to say that this is the one true way of doing this?
I mean, I would post it as a suggestion, right?
I would open a PR and just be like, hey, by the way, I created this Docker image for you. And, that'd be cool.
Yeah. But so I think that looks pretty...
That's pretty neat.
Pretty.
Yeah, you got everything in the requirements file there. That's just very nice and clean, and it's just going to work.
Right. Let's just make sure. Oh, we can do. Oops. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I just want to make sure we didn't actually change. This is the problem with.
Yeah, you didn't change anything else. You're good.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I didn't accidentally do a sed on the requirements file local rather than just inside the container.
No, you definitely changed that file. I feel like.
Only in the container, though.
Only in the container. Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't bind mount it, right? I just added.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Posed Docker file. Ooh.
Oh, you got graphs. Oh, whoa. Right. We're doing ML over here.
Yeah, model accuracy here. We're doing machine learning.
We're doing ML. So excited. I really should like call up one of my like super smart ML friends and just be like, can you come on and just do like a how to get started with ML show?
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be cool.
So yeah, so I pushed it back up, and then we could go and should we actually write a PR?
Yeah, let's why not? Let's help some folks out.
Where's my fancy? Did they? Oh, they changed
right
the
there.
UI.
They changed the UI. It's right.
Yeah,
there. You just hit pull request. It's just not a pretty button anymore. It's if you recall, it used to be like a very thin line at the top of the directory listing.
Yeah,
and they've kind of
made
it less and more obvious at the same time.
So where can I put comments though? Is it after
you hit create pull request and then you can add comments after the fact.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's see. You wanted to do this live AF on a stream. Okay. So good morning, good evening. This is Mareko from Brazil, it looks like. Good morning, good evening. There is an update related to this not supported OCI format for Fedora 28 and 29, and it should be fixed since Podman went 1.0. Could you check the versions in your environment?
Oh, I'm way ahead of that because I'm on 32.
Yeah, I was about to say you're probably on like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. 193.
What package of Fedora were you using? Or what version of Fedora are you using right now? 32, right?
32, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so.
But it's silver blue, so that's potentially different, but it's still this Podman version.
Yeah, it's still 193. There you go. Ta-da!
Oops, forgot run again.
You can do it.
At least I'm consistent.
Yeah. Consistently.
That seem
bad at syntax, reasonable? Yes. Yeah, that looks cool.
All right, there it goes.
There you go. All right. We've already helped somebody today on this stream.
Exactly.
Right. So now the next person that picks this up, they have a Docker file that they can run. And then they can start working on making the ML model better almost immediately. Right? Like
exactly.
Our ML and our Docker or ML and our container friends need to get like more hand in hand, I feel like, because the first real ML project I ever worked on was teaching a bunch of data scientists how to actually use containers. So it was more me teaching them. It was more me just teaching them how to use containers and like how to build things in a container native way so that they could just throw their loads just disparately at this box and it would just pick them up and run them for them, and they would they would set up models to just run overnight or whatever, and they were quickly realizing that they could like stop running models overnight and just run them on this server that we set up like on demand. If it sees a new container image, it'll just spin up and run the image for you and then give you the output kind of deal. So that's what they were looking for. So it was literally just getting them used to building Docker files, right? Like just like what we did here. So if we can get our ML friends building Docker files on a regular basis, their lives might be a little bit easier. I know they need like big bulky machines to compute with, but think about the ease of spinning up 40 containers versus 40 bulky machines, right? Like,
Right.
there's a lot more modeling that's going to happen in that 40, easier to get machines than, trying to get a machine with, 128 gigs of RAM and 20 billion CPUs kind of deal, right? Like,
well, that's actually one of the things I kind of want out of like Open Data Hub, which I'm not sure they really kind of see as part of their purview. Right. But it's like on the fence of it is like you need a way for quants, right, for lack of a better term, to upload the data somewhere that is a way that they understand how to do it and is relatively easy and doesn't have to necessarily have that. I mean, so they can export their content as a CSV, right? But expecting them to use like command line git and git push or whatever, probably not so much. So like what you want to give them is a way to like Dropbox their CSV files somewhere, which then triggers a build of the container, which then goes and gets the data, and then it goes and runs the new model. I actually had this problem for a project I worked on actually at BU as well. One of the projects is somebody built an app that does stats on the performance of baseball refs depending on the teams they're reffing, or baseball umps.
Wow.
And
that's cool.
Yeah, it's really interesting. You can, it's in the various app stores. We don't have baseball right now, which makes it a little challenging. But the concept's really neat. And basically there is distinct, you can get really interesting performance information out of the stats, as well as the relationship to when they're reffing a particular team and what stadium they're in, for example.
So there's a whole Freakonomics chapter, the original Freakonomics book, on does home field advantage really have an impact? And through economics, they have shown that yes, it does. It does have an impact on the referee's psyche, right? Like, so yeah, that would be really interesting to kind of apply, because you could then counteract that, like, to some of those negatives, right, to actually have a more fair game, right? Like, if you notice that, oh yeah, when they play in Yankee Stadium, they favor the Yankees 3-1 or something like that, right? Like, you can then tie that, you just, the awareness of it makes people more cognizant of their bias, and then therefore they can correct it. But sometimes, you've got to teach them how to correct it in the positive manner. So that's the next step there. But yeah, you could have more fair ball games through ML, right? Like, that's crazy,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. But the challenge that project had is the one I described, which is that they had a bunch of graduate students and professional data scientists who kind of were collecting the data from various sources and massaging it into the right format and where they wanted to put it and that kind of stuff. But then feeding that into the system is a whole like production, right? Joking aside. And it doesn't really need to be, right? You just need a ugly web page that says take CSV file, like but there's
a browse button, an upload function, and the ability to
and you got to set that stupid PHP
file
setting.
That says that above 10 megs.
Whatever 2 gig files or whatever it is. Like, and I don't know of a good out of the box answer to that question, and I want it to be Open Data Hub, but I'm not 100% sure that's really their purview. It's one of these things I got to like sit down and talk with the team about one of these days.
That's a good idea. Like, I think that's definitely something that is worth pursuing more, to be honest with you, because I feel like this is a common problem. Whenever I've talked to ML people about infrastructure projects, it's always like, I've got all this data, I've got all this compute, I need a place to put it all once it's like the outputs and some of the inferences and some of the learnings, right? Like, I need that place that I can then build from and continue building from. So Open Data Hub, I think, is trying to be at least a piece of that.
That's kind of like, it has the functionality of most of what I described, but I'm not sure that, like I said, they consider that part of the target is to solve that problem.
Right.
Like,
Totally understandable.
basically,
Yeah.
because I'm not 100% clear. I've never sat down and found out what their target is exactly. I've just kind of looked at because I wanted to go use pieces of it for this problem I had. I just kind of looked at it from that perspective instead of actually kind of digging into what it really is. Hey, maybe you should do a show of
no, I definitely have already put out feelers for Open Data Hub folks.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, if you know anybody that I could short track that with, not to use my own name as a pun, that would be great. So if you could put me in touch.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I definitely know some people who might be good.
Like that want to actually come on and get their hands dirty, not just give me a prezzo on what it is.
Right.
That can be part of it, but actually show me how you would use it,
Right.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
So I don't know how much more time did we want to spend on this?
We allocated do another one. We allocated until 11, and if I didn't have 4 streams today, I would say let's go long, but I have to worry about my own self-care to an extent today, because it is kind of a marathon day for me. We've got another 18 minutes. I'm not sure what you want to do in 18 minutes, but maybe you can show us one that you feel like you can do pretty quickly.
Well, let's see. So I also want to pitch this project because I also thought it was really cool. But basically, this is trying to look at how like governmental policy impacts the spread of the COVID using technology.
Well, I think
which I thought was a neat project.
Don't get me started, but yes, I think we don't necessarily need data for that, but it'd be good to have data to present to not so informed people. But okay.
Yeah. So this one, actually, I remember taking a look at this one. So this one I actually thought was going to be really easy and straightforward, because it's just a Rails API server and then it's a React front end. The challenge was this step here where it conveniently says Rails DB migrate, and I think it says it wants Postgres underneath it. So the problem is that a lot of these.
So it starts with a local database, and then you have to. Yeah. Okay.
So I think it's not as bad as it looks, but
if you did a Postgres container, that would probably be a big
right. And so there's a good one you can rip from the SCL team.
Okay. Who is the SCL team?
Secure. Sorry, software collections.
Software collections. Yeah.
I mean, so they make most of the software collections team. Weirdly, make most of Red Hat's containers that have applications in them.
Right.
So that's what this RHSCL stands for.
Okay, cool.
And even though it says RHSCL, most of them are actually not built as software collections. Because in a container, needing a software collection isn't as required, and blah. So, but we could take a look at
this guy. Grab that one and let's go for a run.
Real quick. What happens?
I can go over a few minutes if we have to, but I've got to walk the dog, so that's the big thing.
Animal priorities.
Yeah, well, I mean, she gets antsy if I don't, man. So that makes the 2, 3, and 4 o'clock shows harder.
Right. Oh my God, can't type. All right, so I'm just gonna whack this because I did the wrong base.
Oh, whoops.
Did that take? There we go. All right. Oops. This whole for some reason, a lot of these hackathoners also seem to always use caps, which I'm not okay with. Everything's lowercase, right?
Yeah.
So if we're doing this right, we should really.
Oh, so that error.
Which one?
Okay. The weird funky error. Yeah, I think the issue's in the chat there, the fix. Because you're I think by default it uses bin sh as opposed to bin bash. So you have to tell it use bin bash.
Weird.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that makes sense given that your containers are supposed to be light or whatever. And I guess Bash isn't light, but you would think, gosh, yes.
Right.
Huh.
See, this is the challenge. That's like right off the bat. Like, I need to know what version of Ruby you want me to run, buddy.
And you're not going to get that from this.
Well, sometimes people list it in their wait, package. Oh, that's right. People are using npm now to deploy Rails, which is also entertaining.
Wow.
And makes it slightly confusing. Well, so we can just use this guy. We can even use a rel repo. What do you think? Ruby. Oh, this is Ruby on Rails, no less.
Oh.
Let's see
Okay.
if he tells us what Rails version it is.
7, 8. 6. No.
No, it's
that's the package name. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah. Oops.
So
it, though. Oh,
Webpacker.
No. But 4.2 sounds close.
Okay.
Maybe we try this guy.
All right. Yeah, you got 13 minutes. Why not?
Right. And then run. Anybody know off the top of their head how you do a yarn install?
No.
I can't remember.
I got nothing.
Did I go? Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
You might just be able to use Rails.
You need Ruby 2.6.4, Rails 6.02, and React 16.13.1.
Well, this is Rails 4.2, so that's not going to work.
No.
Oops. So we'll need probably a Fedora. What was the Ruby? 2.6.4?
2.6.4. So you could do a 2.5.
Here's Ruby 2.6 on UBI 8. So that
works.
Help.
That'll be dope.
Yeah. Oops. Cannot type. And then yum install.
DNF. No. Yeah. Yum.
Actually, either one works, but
that's true. Let's see.
I can't remember what Rails is called.
Oh. ROR, I think.
Is it?
Is it? No. Ruby Gem, Rails, no arch.
Yeah,
Ruby Gem, Rails, no arch. Yeah.
Oops. Oh my God. All right, so Rails and then add. Oh, let's see. Run. Victor opt COVID. That seems intuitive.
Yeah. Working dir. Or work dir, I should say. Yeah. How many years old is Bash now? First released in 1989. Yeah, that's old, folks.
301. Then let's see, Podman build T. Let's call it tracker. Rails, maybe. So I assume you've talked about UBI before on the call or on the Twitch stream?
Not extensively. So if you would like to, you can explain real quick what UBI is. Or I can take your pick.
So UBI is Red Hat's universal base image, and if you have UBI 8, that means it's based on RHEL 8. And so without a subscription manager kind of like set up, without registration, you can go and get like kind of the basics of RHEL in a container so that you can base your applications on it. And it's the nice thing about it is that it's all the RHEL content.
Which is that tried, tested, assured content,
right?
But you don't have to pay for it. Although your subscription manager is complaining because you're not installing this with root. Fun.
No, that's not subscription manager though. It's just that I'm not root.
Not root. Subscription managers not updated. This command will be run.
So do I have to do sudo in my Docker file?
Really? I don't even know.
I wonder if because I'm not.
Would it be on? Do you have to say no? What you have to do is you have to say run as root and then switch users. You have to say run this.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of wondering. You think so?
And then then switch users later on.
But this goes back to the problem I've had before, which is that you don't know what the root or the original user was.
Yeah. Well, so hopefully sudo's
let's try my way.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
that's
what I thought.
You win.
Yep.
I wanted to try it.
Well, but you could just say user root and then run your yum command and then user 1001 for the rest of it after the yum command. Right.
Actually, well, so
never
I
mind.
have to chown it.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, let's do it anyway. Chown. You think it's 1001?
No, I just want you to define it as 1001, just because that's like a good default.
Oh, a new.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Well, no, I'm already running clearly as some user. The other thing is we can also go to the Red Hat container catalog and just type in ruby-26.
Oh yeah, because it would tell you which user it's running as, would it not?
What is this? I don't want an ad.
Oh, you hit the container.
The actual container catalog.
Yeah. You just hit the containers page.
So this is the here it is.
Yeah, 826. There you go.
And
scroll down. There's nothing loaded. But hello.
No, it's just like stuck.
Hello, web page. Hello. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, that's a feature.
Is checking email to see if something's down.
Yeah, that looks pretty down.
That's not.
Oh, it's weird. Let's see what this one says.
Seen
nothing there either.
Okay.
Well, we seem to have found an outage.
Okay. Something's not working there. All right.
Oops. All right, so let's try that guy. Yeah, so even though you'll get the subscription management warning, it should install.
Or not.
If it's there. So it could be that particular thing's there. Yeah, so we could do gem install.
Oh, yeah.
Rails. I don't think it takes a Y, though. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Problem with Rails, though, or with Ruby and gems, though, is like you have to install like the entire C infrastructure to get anything to build.
Oh, Ruby.
Yeah, because like Nokogiri, right, is already in the package manager built as a binary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you don't have to do this whole building native extensions. This could take a while. Plus have all the devel labs.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we're just not finding it. We do see differences between the name of a package in RHEL versus the name of a package in Fedora.
Yes.
And so it could be that it's just got a different name, and I don't know what it is because I wasn't.
That's entirely possible because, yeah.
We could actually cheat and say podman run rm it ubi.
Oh, you're
8. Oh my goodness, I can't type.
There you go.
Now, if I didn't run out of disk space before. Well, whoever designed the Ruby base, though, certainly did it right. Like, have you ever tried to build a Ruby project and had it not fail on trying to install gems?
At least once. Every time it'll fail.
So let's see. Yum search Rails. Yeah, see, it's not there. Right, but let's see if here he's there. Nope. So must have just the basics of Ruby.
You have the base OS, the app stream, and the code ready builder. That's all you have in this image. You might have to have a different repo.
Oh, here. Repo?
Yeah.
Well, no, so these are
app stream should cover
down versions. Yeah. Right. So if this was the Rel 8 app stream, it would have it. But this is a pared down app stream because for the UBI.
Right.
So basically it's the stuff that's available without a subscription.
Okay. Well,
there you go.
It's installing.
It's building though.
It's installing so many Ruby gems. Hooray.
What was that Postgres?
Oh, the Postgres requirement?
Yeah, no, I mean I meant the name of
the package name. I think it's just
So we could use that guy. So at least it can be doing two things at once.
43 gems installed. Good job.
Yay, gems.
This is the process.
I really do think Perl missed the boat by having such a boring package manager name. You know, Ruby, Gem, you know, Perl and Peckle or whatever it's called.
And yeah, whatever. Different times.
Exactly. All right, but you get the idea.
Yeah, I mean,
we have 2 minutes left.
Yeah, it's installing things, but as you can see, folks, like judging a hackathon, it's not easy.
Exactly.
Packaging up other people's applications to run in your environment, even when you have all the permissions in the world, it's still not easy, right? None of this is.
Although it is definitely less painful than running it locally.
Yes, it's when you build it out and you do it right, it's awesome.
Yes, exactly.
When you are hodgepodging things together and you're throwing it all on your local box and then you have a big mess to clean up later, that's not awesome. So building things in the container keeps you clean, right? Like it keeps it keeps you sane essentially, right? Like, yes, you have to shift to the container paradigm of thinking, but that's a lot easier not easier, but that's a much smaller paradigm fit than it's more Linux based than it is application based, if that makes sense. So if you're comfortable with mucking around with Postgres and mucking around with file systems and things like that, then you're going to be way more comfortable building containers versus applications, installing them and everything else. So the idea here is when Langdon judges these things, he's not going to go out and load his system up with 17 different versions of Ruby or Python or whatever, and have all these different virtual envs. He's just going to build out a container real quick and get your thing running inside of a container, and then kick the tires on it and so forth, so on. If you go back to the X-ray app, right? Do we see the final output of that, or was that still running?
No, it was done.
It was done. Okay.
This guy.
Yeah. Like
This is the results.
It took us a little bit of time to get here, but now we can take this, update the model in just the slightest way, and have 14 different models maybe running at the same time on the same box.
And honestly, like, we started down the wrong path on trying to containerize it too. Like, if we had started with a Jupyter Notebook container,
Right.
it would have been like,
it would have been way easier.
15 minutes after that.
Right.
Yeah. We just,
so yeah, like you also get the advantage of having some things pre-baked for you, right? Like obviously you need to get your containers from trusted sources, but just pulling down that Jupyter Notebook or Jupyter Hub, whichever thing, from Jupyter that we grabbed, and starting from that point saved us so much time. The time savings was huge. Mm-hmm. We got to building AI models very quickly. You can then take that image and customize it for your own environment and build your own image so that you could just say, hey, go out and pull the latest models, or, go grab a model from S3 somewhere, or go grab a model from this database, or, just go get the latest model to run. And it just will automatically spin up a container and go do it, right? Like there's a lot of ways that ML and containers can help each other. And this is just the beginning, right? Like standing up these Jupyter notebooks and bashing them out real quick like this. I'm sure on someone's local machine with a ton of memory and, system utilization, everything else to be great. Or I can go get some boxes in the cloud for real cheap and run these containers on them, right? Like I can build out, I feel like, more efficiently good ML solutions with containers than I can with just raw, compute, if that makes sense.
So I can't remember if this is exactly how you do it. The other thing we could do with this particular example, because it's actually 3 different services, so we could actually use a Podman pod. So we could actually put a Postgres in there, we can put the React in there, we can put the Rails in there, and then launch those together, and then we'll have, what we can get out of that is basically a YAML that you can feed to Podman somewhere else, which will launch them as a cluster in the sense
it puts everything in a proper pod so that your application is combined in a more container native way, and then you can take that YAML file and say Podman anywhere, right? As opposed to
and what's super cool is once you have the pod running, you can actually export the YAML out of it such that you can feed that to OpenShift. So you can also,
then you can go
just directly take that and go dump it in OpenShift.
Right. And once you're at that OpenShift level, then you're playing with containers at massive scale, right? Like you're ready to go. Your ML is ready to start rocking and rolling on a bunch of different models all at once, maybe, and you can solve your problems hopefully faster and easier by building your ML models and containers. So Langdon, thank you so much for teaching us so much about building containers today. I know it didn't go exactly how you wanted it to, but these things rarely do.
Right, exactly.
Live demos are fun, but you know what? I did learn a ton about Podman and bin bash versus bin sh by default. I also learned a ton about Jupyter, in that the sense of like running a Jupyter notebook is not as crazy and hard as I thought it would be. Typical.
I was impressed by that myself, about how once, like the one note I would have on that is you have to remember your kind of separation of concerns, is that when I first did the Jupyter notebook, I actually think I did go down the correct path when I was actually judging this conference or this particular project. But I didn't think about the fact that I had to get the data stuff actually inside the container, because that little, this little, upload your little dealio isn't really there, right? Because you're inside the, so there's some considerations you have to make,
absolutely,
about it. But
like,
all in all, I think it's a much better way to do it.
Like Langdon the container, what's appropriate? Container guru is not the right word, but the container, I wanted to start with a C. I want it to be alliteration. Yeah. The container controller.
There you go. Yeah. You can start a project. So I don't know. Maybe we should come back and do the Podman pod version of this of this other app, the
Yeah, that'd be cool.
legislation tracker thing.
Yeah. Maybe let's figure out some time to maybe do some more regular container kicking. Right.
Yeah.
Building from scratch from other people's projects kind of stuff is fun.
Yeah, and it's the only way I do anything anymore. Like it's so convenient once you get the hang of it, you know. But as you know, as you're kind of saying, like live on air, it takes a little while to get used to, you know, thinking normally versus thinking demo. So maybe the next one will have a little less pain.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Thank you so much, Langdon, for joining me this morning. At noon, we have an OpenShift Commons briefing about Cube Scheduler. Going to be joined by some IBMers, some friends from IBM, to talk about Cube Scheduler. And then at 3 and 4, I have back-to-back shows with Scott McCarty talking about Podman 2.0 API, and then Under the Hood with Kata Containers Run C and C Run. So they're gonna be, that's like container day, you know, here on the channel. So get your fill here,
shocking
folks.
With the OpenShift.
Yeah. No, but like I'm talking like low level container stuff today. It feels fun.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
It feels super fun doing this stuff. So yeah, thank you so much, Langdon, for joining us.
Should I show off my off-brand shirt before we go?
Yeah, please do. So Langdon's been around for a while. The OpenShift originally started as like a PaaS platform, like a Heroku kind of thing. And if you remember, because I remember this because I did my first like, what was it? You know, intentional fishing expedition, fishing exercise inside my company using the original OpenShift with cartridges and everything, because it looked like an official program kind of thing, because I had like a redhat.com URL and everything, so it looked super convincing to people. Yeah, so I actually used that to hack my company with a phishing test. Yeah, so turns out it's nabbed 100% of the developer department. It was super eye-opening for the entire security posture of the company. Yeah. So
nice.
Langdon has been part of the OpenShift world for a while. So have I, but kind of on the outside looking in, and now I'm finally on the inside looking out, and it's kind of fun. So yeah, cool. Thanks, Langdon. Thank you again, and thank you to everybody that contributed to that hackathon that Langdon judged, and thank you all for watching us here today. And we'll catch you soon.
See y'all later.